Good afternoon, folks. Mike Wells, Your World Explorer. Today we're going to take a look at the entire food forest that we have. It is August the 3rd, 2026. And this past winter we actually had some really nasty, once in 35 years, freezes that killed a lot of what we had on the property, or so we thought. Anyhow, let's take a look. We'll start with the Anna apple tree. Now this wasn't affected by the frost in a negative way, but the fact that this Anna apple tree is still living right now and seemingly doing well is really, really positive in my opinion. So going forward, we're going to see if that Anna apple tree can continue. Now this right here is our, what's this called? I think it's a jackfruit. Now what you'll notice, the jackfruit actually was dead, okay, but now we've got some new growth coming from the root stock, which is really cool. And then there's some critter that keeps coming through here. I don't know if you can see that while I'm trying to show you. There's some critter that keeps going through there and like chewing on our stuff. So anyhow, this jackfruit is it's disappointing that that happened, because now we got to wait for this thing to get mature again. It wasn't even close to mature, but hopefully this thing can grow to the tree size, and then it'll be way more resilient as the trunk is much bigger. If you guys like pink flowers, hot pink flowers, we've got these bromeliads, the flaming torch bromeliads, and they're starting to throw off huge amount of these flowers. This is the time of year for it. But this whole scape right here looks incredible. This one time per year. Look at that flower right there. Super nice flower. So let's take a look over here. We have, sorry, I'm totally breezing past the macadamia nut tree that's in our third location. This macadamia tree right here is probably 6 years old. It's taken forever to get any kind of height, but you can tell as to why. It's because it's in an understory location. It doesn't get that much sun. So if I were to change the location of this, it would get bigger much faster. Here's some other bromeliad types too that we have on the property. Let's take a look over here. We have, this is the Thai dwarf mulberry. Now it's got no fruit on it right now, but it did have some earlier this year. That's about the size they get. They don't get much bigger than that. But I'm gonna take and propagate this one because it's sticking out a little too much, so I wanna put some more back here. And I want it to be more of like a bush. Those survived well through the freezes. Really didn't affect them at all. Here is our second macadamia tree. This one's doing a little better than the other one. You see how much taller it is. That one is an evergreen. It survived the freezes. Now if we look over here, we used to have big, really tall cashew trees, but they got obliterated during the freezes. Here are their remnants. I had to chop them up. They're firewood now. But these produced a ton of cashews when they were producing, but I suspect it won't be long before they get big enough to start producing again. But it's really good to know that they throw from the base a bunch of new shoots like this if they should perish during a freeze. So that's a good tidbit of information for you. All of them are coming back, which is amazing, including this one. This one was pretty tall, but I'm eager to have these start producing again. I really like my cashew apple trees. Let's take a look over here. What else can I show you at this juncture? We have some more air plants, if you would. Beautiful air plants. They're kind of spaced throughout the property. and they'll propagate on their own now. They do exceptionally well. We have a citrus tree right here. If you look, we planted two, one over here, and one right there. That one did not survive, but this one did. These seem to do well on their own and thrive on neglect in understory locations. They don't do well in the full sun unless you're watering them constantly. But I found quite a bit of these out in the wilderness, the fruits, and I planted them. I'll show you the spot where I planted those next. I've propagated heavily the Thai dwarf mulberry. So here we have a bunch of new ones. You can see that right there. I kind of have them in rows, but I want them to produce heavily. When they get bigger and more bushy and stronger, that's when they'll really be producing, and they'll be more resilient to the wind. I'm really contemplating as to whether or not I have made an error in judgment by putting these out here, because they do get the wind. So there's those. Now you can see we have rabbits on the property, and the rabbits, they really do maul these things down to the ground. This was a red apple tree, but it's perished for sure. I'm going to be removing that. Now here's the other jackfruit. Okay, so the main one here, the original, perished from the winter, freezes. But now you got the new stuff, the new growth coming from the base. So that's good. At least we know these, you know, they can somewhat survive here. But like I said, if we can get these trunks to be thick, I think we'll be in great shape going forward. Here's another Thai dwarf mulberry doing well on its own. Here's another. Now over here I have the wonderful variety of the pomegranate. So now these are starting to grow decent, and I started these from seeds. There's also one in here, one over there. Hopefully they do extremely well going forward. I know my neighbor has some, but they're not producing at all, and they are in the full sun. So if you look here, this is a citrus tree that we sprouted from seed, and the seeds were from the wild. So this hopefully will do well. Here is another Thai dwarf mulberry. This thing is growing wild. It's like all over the place. And here's another one. That should be the end of that. Now here we have the Primark Freedom blackberry. Now what happened here is it didn't die back, but it got run over by the mower. I have my son out here mowing from time to time, and he accidentally ran it over. So I went and backfilled the hole. Well, guess what happened? A shoot came bursting out of the soil. So now this thing is coming back with a fervor. That is, again, the Primark Freedom blackberry. It has produced, but it's so low to the ground that the critters grab anything that it produces. Eventually I'll take that more seriously. I just wanted to see if I could get it to thrive on neglect, and sure enough, it's doing its own thing. I also have a cutting that a clone that I had produced, and that one's over here. It's seeming to do okay on its own now too, but it's a lot smaller. Here's more citrus from the wilderness, thriving on its own. All of these are different orange types that I found out in the wild. They're just growing out in the preserves, where preserves have been converted from basically orange groves to preserves. Now we have the spiraling ginger that I was telling you about. This thing was producing flowers earlier in the front of the yard earlier this year, and they're tasty. They're like sweet and sour at the same time. really interesting plant. But I put it back here, relocated it because I wanted it to be out of the wind. It should thrive here. It mimics the previous location. It has its understory situation, so we'll see. But those take a while to establish and expand and grow. So we'll see what happens there. Over here we have the passion fruit vines. They definitely died back completely. I have this structure of ropes that I had them attached to. They were thriving really well last year, but winter came, the 35-year freeze happened, and they died all the way back, but they're starting to come back. And you can see too how thick the vine was. Hopefully we can get them to come back and do extremely well at this spot. It looks like they want to. Now over here you're gonna look, you'll see this moringa. It's supposed to be one of the healthiest plants in the world, trees, whatever, because of the leaves. The leaves are just loaded with nutrients. You can eat these raw. They kind of taste like wasabi a little bit, but they're really good for you. And these died back, but out of the ground popped these new shoots. So they have some resilience against freezes. Here we are. They have the Tainan no, it's not the Tainan 64. It's the, trying to remember what this is. The Dioscorea alata yam vine. Now we got, these things are taking over here. I may remove these from the property because I don't want them to take over and all these yams to start being planted all over the yard. I had removed a bunch of air potatoes before, and they're the cousin of this particular yam, and they unfortunately are not edible, but it took a while to remove those. I had to like spend time between 3 years getting all of those vines removed and then burned. Over here I usually do some gardening, but this year I haven't. I've had a lot of stuff come up that has been unplanned, unexpected, so my time has been crunched. Over here we have the Florida avocado. This one, half of it kind of died back, as you can tell. Some of the leaves are still crunchy and hanging on there, but the new growth is coming in just fine. That really made me happy. This one I had to kind of, it was the same size as the other one, but I had to chop it back because it nearly died almost all the way to the ground, but it's coming back now. Not quite to the ground. The death had occurred, but the cambium of the trunk is still alive, right where you see all of these new shoots coming out of, which is really good news for us. But here we have the table olive. This tree, man, it started off 3 foot tall and it didn't seem like it was gonna live, but now it's growing like a weed because it's become established. If anything, I'm gonna keep this thing here for its wood. It may not produce ever, I don't know. I haven't seen a single olive. I'm not really interested in olives like that, but I am interested in olive wood. So that wood should be useful at some point. I want to let it get big. Here we have a pomegranate tree or bush. Here's the other two that still survived. Now we started off with 13 total. I don't know why these are all perishing, but this one seems to do the best every year. And this one has, we already pulled 5 pomegranates off of it. Now it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, so 5, 6. There was a big one over here. Look at this one. This thing is massive. 7. So I think we got 7 more coming from this pomegranate, and it survived the winter just fine. These other two, that I can't say the winter messed them up because they've just been slowly but surely croaking. It might be because there was a fire pit here at one point and then I backfilled it with sand, and there's just really not that great of nutrient selection in this particular soil over here. And I'm not going to try to nutrientize this soil either. It's going to be a lot of unnecessary work. Let's go over here. We have the starfruit that are starting to come out. These survived, but they did have somewhat of a dieback. You can see where the leaves are not in existence. But if you look closely, you can see starfruit are coming. These are going to be nice and big. Yeah, these we juice them. Now you have to be careful when you eat these because they have a toxin in them. If you don't remove the toxin on the splines, then you can seriously injure yourself by consuming carambola or starfruit. Basically the spline is this right here. So I cut those tips off when I process these. And I try not to drink too much of the juice at one time. Now here is the big macadamia. This thing seems to be doing just amazing. They're indigenous to Australia, I believe, but you can grow them here in Florida. We mimic that climate that they exist in, and they seem to be doing really well. This one produced 2 nuts at one point, and this year it was producing nuts in the winter, but the freezes kind of knocked all the nuts back and killed them. So I'm eager to see what this thing does next year. Let's look at our what we have over here is, these are the pineapples. This understory location seems to be doing well. Over here is doing well as well. So we were able to harvest 3 pineapples this year. But this patch at some point is going to produce like 12 or 15 in the near future. When that happens, I'll be really excited because pineapples are not cheap. But when you buy these pineapples at the store, most of the time they're picked way prematurely and they don't have near the amount of natural sugars that are produced from the ripening process. So if you let them ripen a little bit out here while they're on the stalk, and then you pick them while they're starting to yellow, you set them on your counter for a week, they should continue yellowing through the rest of the week, and then you have one of the sweetest pineapples you could ever ask for. All right, so this is a cashew apple tree. I had to take it down all the way because it did die. This one is still doing its thing and coming back. So that's that. Anyhow, folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That helps the channel grow. And that is the extent of my food forest right now. When I have more time and my life calms down through the major changes that I have going on right now, I'll be able to do more coverage of these specific trees and plants and stuff. But at this juncture, I'm just going to be able to cover when I can. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.